The Regulatory Services Division hopes to make it easier for town departments to handle resident complaints. The Airport Rotary in Hyannis is getting a facelift, and we talk with Finance Director Mark Milne about the upcoming annual financial audit. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, September 23rd, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. Town officials hope to improve the way departments handle resident complaints. Director of Regulatory Services Richard Scally says they will be making updates to the CRM system.
The town manager has put together a contract for our e-permitting system, and we're working very diligently on that, and that's coming along with our e-permitting system through the Viewpoint contract. However, in the meantime, we're trying to work with our current system, which is a CRM system, to put all our complaints into that system and be able to monitor them. We've asked the IT department to kind of give us the ability to distribute those complaints and for each of our divisions here to maintain and to look at the other divisions' complaints so we can compare location to location, division by division, and not be operating in a vacuum. And so we're starting to do that now. We're starting to be able to put all that information in, have one number for one complaint, for each complaint, and we're hoping that this will kind of give us a stopgap before our e-permitting system comes into play.
Scally says those updates will be complete in the next month or so. The Hyannis Airport Rotary is getting spruced up. Director of Regulatory Services Richard Scally says town officials and community members are working together to make landscaping improvements.
The Hyannis Airport Rotary is kind of the centerpiece of our town. You know, the airport has done wonders with fixing up their landscaping all around on the airport property, but you see this kind of rotary there that looks, to me, overgrown and just pretty non-maintained. We have set up we set up a meeting with the Bank of Cape Cod, which maintains the property for the state right now, and they have a budget that they've been using with their landscaping company. We've actually met with the bid to assist us, and also we called in a professional, knowledgeable landscaper, Ms. Fanari, who's been very helpful with giving us some ideas about how to put plants that are easy to maintain, that don't require a lot of watering, and that will look good. And if you go by there now, you'll see that the Bank of Cape Cod has been working with their landscaper to at least clean out for the season some of the brush and debris, and then in the spring we'll work on how we're going to fix it up a little bit more. We're not quite sure if the state will allow us to do that yet and who will be doing it, but we're trying to make those improvements.
Scally says improvements to the Airport Rotary have been going on for some time and will continue into next spring. It's about time for the town's annual financial audit. To learn more, we chat with Finance Director Mark Milne. Mark, we have a lot to talk about today. In a few weeks, actually, someone's going to be coming and auditing the annual financial audit for the town of Barnstable. Tell me what this encompasses and who actually performs this audit.
Sure. We contract with a firm called by the name of Powers and Sullivan out of Woburn, Mass. To perform the annual financial audit. They perform many audits of municipalities throughout the Northeast, mostly in Massachusetts. We've had them perform our audit for several years, and they will be here in 2 weeks to proceed with the fiscal year 2015 financial audit, which is for the year we just finished closing. It's every year we're required by bond covenants, by state law, by grant agencies. We have many requirements which dictate that we have to have an annual financial audit.
Why is it so important to conduct this annual financial audit? What does it tell you?
Well, it essentially tells the investors and the community that the town of Barnstable's financial statements are accurate, complete, and that all the financial information is fairly presented, And they also, in conjunction with auditing all the numbers, they do a review of our internal control systems to make sure that we have adequate internal control systems in place in order to prevent any misstatements of financial information. And oftentimes they will provide recommendations for any improvements to internal controls to try to strengthen the town's controls over financial transactions. So it's a good process to go through every year. The financial situation or condition of the town is very important. We want to make sure that we have every financial transaction accounted for and properly recorded, and that our statements accurately reflect our financial condition, because investors use those statements to buy our bonds and to make decisions as to whether or not to buy our bonds. And grant agencies use these financial statements in order to, as part of their decision-making process, to award us grants.
I was going to say, too, I know the town has a AAA bond rating. Is this information and this audit taken into consideration when officials are looking at that characterization?
Absolutely. One of the things that the bond rating agencies will look at is the town's financial statements, and they go through a comprehensive analysis of the town's financial statements over an extended period of time to review, how the financial condition of the town is trending. And when you have an unqualified audit opinion, which is a perfect opinion, meaning that there's no misstatements of material facts or any qualifications, meaning that they can't express an opinion on the accuracy of the financial statements, then you have a bond rating agencies look upon that as very favorable, and because it builds, it provides a level of trust and confidence in the community's financial standing, because that's what you achieve to get with an audit opinion, is an unqualified opinion, and so they'll use the financial statements a great deal when assessing a financial condition of a town.
Now, how long does an audit like this take to fully conduct?
They're here for about 3 weeks every year. They come in May, usually to do a week's worth of preliminary work, and then they will come for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. In this time of year, in late September, early October, to conduct a couple of more weeks of field work. And then once they're done with the field work, they'll take everything back to their office and they'll finalize it all, and we will issue a final audit report by the end of the calendar year. So sometime in December, the audit report will come out.
Wow. Is that audit report available for residents to view?
Yes, they are. The audit is included as part of our comprehensive annual financial statement, which is on the town's website under the Finance Division. We provide those reports there on the website for several years, and it's about a 140-page financial statement document. The auditor's opinion letter is reflected in that report up near the beginning of the report. As well, we've also have on the town's website is their report on our internal control systems over federal grant programs, because that's another product that they're required to produce every year. Is they have to review all of our federal awards programs, and we have to provide an audit report on those to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse, so that when federal grant agencies are looking at considering whether or not to give us a grant, they want to see what kind of controls we have in place over the accounting of federal grant programs. And so that's another report that's also on the town's website for everybody to view.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will have our weekly golf segment. We'll learn the rules of the road for cyclists, and we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.